everyone, and welcome to Centennial Stadium here in Toronto for today's Jovova CSL Soccer Champion.
Take a look at the starting lineups, starting with the Brantford Galaxy and the starting 11 that they put on the field to get this one kicked off on Championship Halloween Sunday. Of course, we talked about Ante Damjanovic and how big he's going to have to be, Carmen, in this game.
Yeah, and Cal, you're absolutely right. He's been outstanding in the playoff run for the Galaxy, and he's made the right save at the right time, and that's what a goalkeeper has to do.
I look at Nedad Begovic in the middle. I always like him, one of my favorite players in the league, really able to move it. As we move on to FC Hamilton, Croatia, and the lineup that they will be fielding in opposition. We talked about two high-powered offenses. Might not come down to that, but it certainly can with the playmaking capability of Preston Corporal and Aidan O'Keefe.
Yeah, Preston Corporal, I've watched him several times this year, and he's one of those strikers that puts fear in the back line. You'll see lots of runs. He holds the ball well, and he's a powerful forward.
It's going to be a very good game, and the sun has certainly come out a little bit. We saw some snow earlier, but that's since dissipated. Justin Tasev will be the man in charge of this game today. His assistant referees, Steve Senderovic and Richard Oliveira. The fourth official will be David Barry.
Yeah, the weather, we've had a few seasons happen here over the last half an hour, 45 minutes out there. But we've got the sunshine on the field, and which will make it more enjoyable for the fans. Great fan support out here today.
And if you've never been to a CSL game, or you've been to a few and you haven't seen a lot of fans out in droves, this is a certainly different case today, as the fans are out here supporting, waving flags, chanting. One of these two teams will be crowned CSL champion for 2010. Will it only take 90 minutes? Will it take longer than that? I know Dick Howard mentioned the possibility of penalty kicks in the first.
Well, you're looking at, I imagine all the players, like right now, they've got some butterflies. They want to get this game going. It's been a long warm-up. The pre-game ceremonies take a little longer than normal. So right now, they want to get those first few passes, those first few touches in, and that will relax them as we go through the first 10, 15 minutes.
Certainly a lot of pageantry today. It's a celebration. It's a renaissance of Canadian soccer of sorts. As you can see, three new teams, four really, technically expansion teams coming into the league. As there's Walter Gretzky with his arms up as he heads off the field. But definitely a new feel to this league, even though it's a lot of the same teams. As you see, there is Walter, and he will be on our show at halftime, Walter will. But a new feel in the league with definitely doing away with the two divisions, and you just have one big conference and everyone's racing. And we talked a lot about the parity, and it really was the closest league in years this year.
You know, a true tribute to both organizations. They've put together some their management team, and they're here in their first year in the CSL final.
Well, they're digging for it right away as Aidan O'Keefe heading in towards goal. Out to smother it up. Brantford Galaxy will be in white. FC Hamilton, Croatia in their red shirts. Giveaway there. Maybe some butterflies, as we talked about. Down the sidelines, Corporal had to retreat. Nixic flicked it in, but no one was there. Very, very cautious, and we talked about both these teams' home field regularly grass. Here they are playing on a turf surface.
Well, that makes a little bit of a difference. I mean, they've been practicing and playing on grass all year. But having said that, a lot of the teams that they play against are on turf. So at this point in the year, that shouldn't be a factor.
This field wasn't in the best of conditions as the season started. There were many games that were delayed and rescheduled, but now it is up to par. Nixic flips this one on. Carries far side over the box. And will run out the side for a throw, keeping with it is FC Hamilton, Croatia.
Well, right now, it looks like to me that Hamilton, Croatia has a little bit of a late addition up front. Jason Shannon is playing up front, and Aidan O'Keefe has maybe dropped back more of an attacking midfield role. That was Aidan's position last week in the semifinal, so interesting to see how that plays out the rest of the game.
This one blicked in, but up to grab it and equal to the task. It's Damjanovic. And he tries to test long. It does go over the head of the last man back, which was Ivan Razumovic, but hitting his first touch will be Melford James Jr., the former University of Alabama Blazer.
And how good has he been in the last 8 games he's played for, Cal?
Absolutely, just doing phenomenal things. 6 shutouts, is it? Six clean sheets.
6 clean sheets in the games that he's played for Hamilton, Croatia in the last 8 games. Outstanding.
And they have been on quite a run. He is definitely one of the main reasons for that. Looking for some space, is giving chases Grootboer, who gets his foot on it, but the ball will carry out of bounds. Go for a throw. So just inside the 3rd minute of play here, it's Canadian Soccer League Championship. It's presented by Jovova.
Now the wind's going to play a factor here today, and as you can on your screen, it would be moving left to right. So right now it's at Brantford Galaxy's back, and they have that advantage. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for the rest of the game.
And the wind definitely playing a bit of havoc with the ball, as we've seen a couple of kicks take off already. Doing some nice work with the ball there is Angelkovic. He's got assistance on the far side. Begovic was up making runs, now back to Angelkovic. And to Begovic in turn. Sandwiched between a couple of players, but seemed to get out of it before heading to the ground, and the referee will call free kick.
And we talked in the opening about Hamilton, Croatia is a team that likes the pressure of the ball. And you saw there, you have 3 or 4 guys on the ball making it very difficult. That, to me, is one of the keys in this game. Are the Galaxy going to be able to switch the ball and get that ball moving and really make that defensive Hamilton, Croatia team work?
Ball sent into the box and out just as quick as Grootboer tried to get a foot on it. Played out, but good job by Kyle Grootboer, former McMaster Marauder. And that is something you think that space normally will swallow up. It seems like both teams already go into a conscious effort to make sure there's absolutely no space in the midfield.
Yeah, this is a bigger field, and I think Hamilton, Croatia's field is a little smaller dimension-wise. So it'll be interesting. Once again, it'll be interesting to see how they adapt to a larger field. The Galaxy possession team will knock the ball around on them left and right.
As evident right there, as Begovic sends it all the way across the face of the field. They're fine to retreat and take the chances that are given. So far in this game, there haven't been too many whatsoever. A little bit of a lack of communication there, but recovering no problem. Now a giveaway. Ball into the center, but swallowed up as Gerhardt got on him. And O'Keefe found some space. Made it to the top of the 18, but no further. Still with possession, and a hard foul there. Grootboer will be warned as he took down Adam Leggett.
A lot of that started, there was a little bit of pressure. Shannon puts a little bit of pressure on Kadicic in the back. A little bit of a giveaway, and right there, Hamilton, Croatia has just created an opportunity. There's that pressure we talked about.
Here's a free kick. And this is always interesting anytime that Aidan O'Keefe stands over a ball anywhere close to goal. His right foot will come in, almost going up. It picked up speed. The offside flag up on the near side of the field is trying to gain an advantage. On the far side was boys from Brantford.
Right now, you look at Hamilton, Croatia is looking a little more comfortable. Nice start in the first 5 minutes. They seem to have their game where they want to have it right now, and I like their start.
Running out of room there was Leggett. Corporal waiting for it to come down. Corporal still trying to turn on Karasic, but Karasic bodies him off it. Begovic had it skip off his foot. Jamie Dodds there working with Corporal, but going out of plays. Puts his hand up apologetically. There's definitely a lot of play by the sidelines. Maybe not so many through balls. No one's really digging for the middle. Everyone's trying to go around and sneak their way in with maybe some in-swinging kicks.
The feeling out process is still there. They're just nobody's really comfortable. I think you start to get that around 15 minutes in. The nerves will finally be out. The butterflies will be gone. And then I think these teams, you'll start to see their true identities come out.
And a lot of the time, they're not used to this. There are many games, of course, in this league that aren't televised. So when you have so much pageantry and so much build-up and pre-game award shows, and us putting booths down on the field, obviously making these guys wait, it only enhances.
Yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of these players have played in big games throughout their entire lives. But any big game brings a whole different set of emotions, a whole different set of feelings. And yeah, today it was a longer pregame. Everything was longer about today. So.
Here's Gerhardt. Trying to beat 3 people. Gerhardt still with a run on it as this one pops into the box. James coming out to grab it. He'll get there first. And he'll get a goal kick. Good job by James. Anticipated that ball was going to run and came out to challenge.
You know, as we said in the opening, Cal, a nice rivalry here today. 2 teams that are 20 minutes away from park to park. The Battle of the 403. In their first-year expansion teams, all the parallels are very unique, and the CSL must be very pleased to see 2 expansion teams in the finals.
It's kind of a metaphor overwhelming, of course, last year's champions, the Trois-Rivières Attack, that didn't participate as the Trois-Rivières Attack. I know many aspects of them with Montreal Impact, but we knew there was going to be a new champion from the moment the league kicked off. As O'Keefe trying to switch in and Grutenborg will put it out for the first corner kick of the game. We knew there would be a new champion, and that just maybe is an overwhelming metaphor for how close the league has been, because everyone wanted to take a run at that cup.
Yeah, in any league, they want to have parity.
O'Keefe on the corner. Sails over the head of Corporal. Flicked back into the box. And it'll come all the way across to O'Keefe, who may have still been offside, but the flag does stay down, and he's going to sail one that goes well over the head of Jamie Dodds and everyone else for that matter.
Jamie Dodds, the captain of this team, and in the times that I've seen him, he's the guy that makes this team go. He's the general. He directs traffic. He battles hard everywhere. And today they're looking for him to be the inspiration on and off the field.
And they do have a powerful offense when you think of Jamie Dodds and Aidan O'Keefe and Preston Corporal. It's no wonder this team has been able to advance so well in the playoffs. Of course, a quarterfinal victory against TFC Academy, a younger team, goes without saying. Well, they're able to use their experience this way, and then a hard-fought win in the semis.
Well, you mentioned they scored 51 goals in the regular season, and that's one of the tops in the league, along with the Brantford Galaxy. But they also commit to the defensive side of the game, and their plus-minus is very good, and that's what you want as a coach. You want teams to build on their offense, but defensively, do you commit to the defensive end? And they have that. That's the kind of team they are.
Throw from the far side. Still trying to generate some offense as the Galaxy. And doing work in and some nifty little footwork. And sailing it over the net on the far side of the pitch was Fazlagic.
Yeah, he's been a mid-season addition. He came over, been very impressive. He's an attacking midfielder. You see the ball, nice skill here, and gets the ball down. Has a nice shot at net. Maybe obviously hit a little too high, but nice addition for the Galaxy when he came in around July this year.
Did well even to get the shot off as he was being harassed, and we talk about how that space is closing up very quickly. Well, it certainly did in that instance. James from his own 6. And this one just dies in the wind. Gerhardt had to go in hard to fight for it, and he almost comes out with it. Patrick Gerhardt there getting called for the foul. They'll bring it back.
That's his nature. Patrick is somebody who battles everywhere on the field, throughout the season. Sometimes his battles have accumulated a few yellow cards, shall I say, Cal. So he's somebody that has missed a few games due to the accumulation of yellows. He's a battler.
Born in Bern, Switzerland, played with young boys for a bit over there and has an impressive resume already before coming over to the Galaxy. And just offside by a fraction was Miodrag Angelkovic, as he had his sights set on goal.
You saw the nice short passing build-up, and that's what the Galaxy do. They look for the short passes to spring that last one, and that was just offside. We had a good view of that one.
Almost dead center, right on. We got pretty good seats today, so take care of those people who took care of us. Free kick taken extremely quickly. Not even ready for it was Fazlagic as it bounced off of him. Ricochets around. Grutenborg gets it back to him. Charging hard was the defender stepping up for the play.
Now, right now, we see Hamilton, Croatia playing a real high back line. And you know what? As much as that's a good system to play, and a lot of teams do that, but you do have to be careful because you keep going to that well all the time. There may be opportunities throughout that game where that referee doesn't call it, the linesman doesn't call it, and you can spring a breakaway. So you do have to be careful if you're Hamilton on those.
We've seen it happen many times. Both of these teams, capable players, able to do that. Bezlajic had it go off his foot. We'll go out the far side for a throw again. So this might have been a surprise to see these two teams here when it was all said and done, due to the nature of the fact that they were expansion teams, and we use that word in quotations because, of course, FC Hamilton Croatia have been around for a few years, but not in this capacity. But as it goes on, it's no real surprise to see that they're here at the end because they are two quality sides, and trying to spring Angelkovic again down the sideline. He was onside this time, but the ball was too far.
Yeah, I mean, you picked up on a couple things. They are expansion teams, very different. I mean, Hamilton, Croatia, deep history, 53 years in the Hamilton area. They've played a lot of...
There's a ball into the box. Shielding well. And a good job defensively by Hudson, who got there backsliding. He concedes the corner, but definitely took away a goal-scoring opportunity from Ranko Golianin.
See a replay of this. Good run by Golianin down the left side, and that's the side he likes to work. Last week he scored 2 goals from the left side, and Hamilton's going to have to be really careful with him.
Corner kick swung in a little far, a flick on, and having to tip it over the bar was Melford James, equal to the task.
Bakula coming up as a central defender who usually comes up on all the corner kicks the Galaxy takes.
We've seen that work out extremely well when you can sneak a defender up into the box on those corners. They're often in, unmarked, and by the time you spot them, it's far too late. They'll do it again from the other side. Begovic's kick, not a good one. Skips along the turf, but finding space in the middle again was Golianin.
He got a break on it. That wasn't on Ranko Golianin's favorite foot, though. He's a natural left footer. He loves his left foot. I think that was on his right, so probably not as comfortable when he took that shot.
Get a fairly good look from a couple paces north of the penalty spot, but it was skipping and coming in quickly.
Yeah, last week, Cal, he scored 3 goals, and 2 of his goals were world-class finishes. Absolutely, he was one of the key reasons why the Galaxy are here today.
Going up and gaining an advantage over the back, says referee Justin Tassiv. Rubbing his head was Daniel Niksic. Taken quickly by O'Keefe, but going back to try and corral it. Unsuccessfully doing so and giving up a rather weak corner that'll go on the far side.
You see our 2 designated set-piece takers here, Aiden O'Keefe and Nenad Begovic, and that's important for all teams to have somebody who's really comfortable on it. So Aiden O'Keefe on this corner.
The low drive. And now a bit of space is ever speedy Grootboer, who in the first 15 minutes or so has covered a lot of ground. Hamilton, Croatia looks to do the same, trying to cut it in. Ball played to the top of the box, and somehow Grootboer's back there already. Given away, Gerhard fanned on it. And starting out will be the Galaxy, and that is just out of the reach of Bezlajic.
Fans are very loud out here today. The Croatia fans have brought flags, they've brought drums, they've got it all going on. As you can see the screen right now, they're all decked out in their Croatia colors. Fantastic atmosphere.
Even some firecrackers before. Leapt out of my shoes the first one. I had no idea what was going on. Bezlajic tried to turn. Does he get the throw? They say it's a tip and it's going to go back the other way. So I guess the thing to pick up on is seeing all these people out for a league that not a lot of people, it doesn't normally get a lot of attention, as Grootboer has got a bit of space now. Closing down, sends one across the face of goal, Angelkovic! Right to Melford James, who stood his ground.
Yeah, nice wide ball. Good early cross from Grootboer over the defender's head, and Angelkovic nice header, and Milford James Jr. Was there in the right position.
Taking space now, leaving it, and stepping over the ball was Preston Corporal, who looked to have a bit of space. Instead, this one is puffed out of the zone just to clear it.
Good to see a highlight here. Begovic, well taken down by Grutenboer, and he looks up and he just first times that. It's an early ball over defender's head.
Grutenboer, a Brantford native, playing for the hometown.
And plays for McMaster University. He's been a starter there for many years, and I think he's one of the captains. Coach Dino Perry has to be very proud to see him, and he also has Daniel Nixich on the other side. So very, very pleased, I'm sure, as a coach, to have two of his guys playing in the Canadian Soccer League.
Similarities between these two teams don't seem to end at all. Throw in taken far side next to the bench. We'll go back the other way. Grutenboer definitely looking like he came to play today. He's been everywhere.
Yeah, he's been outstanding in the first 2-3 games. Defensively against the White Eagles, he had played more of a defensive role, and then last week he scored the 4th goal, which was he took the ball in midfield, played a nice 1-2 for Fazlajic, and a very classy finish.
Jamie Dodds with a nice turn to get it out of danger and spring his teammates. Leggett just can't link up with Corporal. Corporal didn't see Leggett was cutting and tried to play back, but that one's turned over. Angelkovic looking middle. Brzjalik, top of the box. Couldn't control, but Begovic slows down the pace, heads wide left. Trying to stretch Hamilton, Croatia now, and a shot from distance, and just whizzes by the near post.
Yeah, once again, Begovic, the main guy for Brantford in the middle. He spread out. You see a second ball. He spreads it out to his left, and Olic comes up from the back line and takes a good shot. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a fullback coming up and taking a shot, and if it goes out, well, then you're back to just a goal kick.
Good positioning by James. He might well have had this one covered, but a little bit more accurate on that shot. And very good chance we could have seen our first one.
It was a good effort.
Powerful kick by James. Gerhard under it. And a little bit of a flick on. Angelkovic, can he get in? James comes out. A header going back. And cleared out of the way by Teryansky Toth.
Little communication there between Milford James Jr.
Looks to be Dodds that might be down on the ground right now. There was quite a collision.
Ball comes through here, Kyle. You can see it. He comes out, and somebody, I can't make out who. Razumovic?
Yeah, I think you believe you're right. He's back on his feet now, is Ivan Razumovic. First time to it. Here's O'Keefe looking up, trying to pick out Corporal. Corporal in a bit of a fight, and a good job on the near side by Stanko Karasic.
Nice ball by O'Keefe. Quick ball into Preston Corporal, who makes a lot of runs. Really keep an eye on him today. He's somebody, one of those classic forwards that likes to hold, shield, and everybody kind of works off him.
Definitely strong enough to do it.
He's a big lad, as they say.
Dodds pops one in. Grutenboer takes the time to turn. Now a ball down the side. And Jelkovic a little late to that and back the other way. Niksic lost possession. Gerhardt. And wide. Trying to flick down. There's Golianin with a bit of space. No one with him. Golianin waiting for people coming in. Into the box. And it's in! We have the opener. Heading towards goal was Fazlajic. He comes to the crowd and brings them to their feet. 1-0, Brantford Galaxy.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the game, Cal, about Ranko Golianin being the guy for the team that has to come. He's left side. That's what he likes. And you'll see it's a great early ball from Begovic. Begovic, he takes it down, and he waited. You called that there wasn't anybody there. He took his time. He waited. He made a beautiful cross, and Fazlajic puts it in.
Well, right after that, the old pose for a picture celebration, as you can see this one, and Fazlajic coming in, and to me, it was a bit of a I wonder if that went off a defender or if it in fact went off Vaslagic, but you could see the defender coming back right here. And a good job again by Golianin to wait. The ball comes in, and it looks like Vaslagic did get the touch on it. We're back and running as Corporal down at the other end, trying to get it back almost immediately. As I was saying before, and we take a look at it, may have well gone off a player on the red team, but we'll take a look because there was a lot of legs in there.
We're not getting a great angle on it on the replay, so we'll see what happens. But either way now, Hamilton all of a sudden, how do they react?
And I was saying before, referee Justin Tassev definitely was warning Vaslagic to knock it off as they had quite an elaborate celebration, but very well could have been booked. And this time Tassev says, calm down. We're going to have a free kick here.
Well, we have our first early goal, and that usually in any soccer game makes a difference, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this game goes through now. We've got a goal now. The teams are relaxed in a situation. Hamilton will have to play a little more offensive just to get it back, so I think game on.
That one a little bit too far for Vaslagic, but applauds the effort. So he is the main reason.
There's a replay again.
And I think I'd gander a guess that that definitely went off the defender.
I mean, from there, it looks that both legs got there at the same time. Maybe if we had a different camera angle, we'd be able to, I guess at halftime, we could always ask Vaslagic if he scored.
We'll go ask him. Bring him over. We'll send Neil down to get him. Neil Cherry, of course, on sidelines, and Ranko Golianin going towards goal. This looks similar as he's waiting again. This time Gerhardt making a run. He'll do it himself. Good job diving to block that one was number 12, Daniel Niksic. Golianin created a bit of space for himself when he was all alone and going to ground. We'll have a free kick going the other way as hitting the dirt was number 4, Zachary Tate.
If you're Croatia now, you've got to really keep an eye on Golianin on the left side. They're right back. It looks like it's Hudson. Well, he's more of a central defender, but Hudson's maybe slid out to the right a little bit to start giving a little support to that side.
Jason Shannon, number 23 up front for Hamilton, definitely playing with a sense of purpose as he'd love to get his team back on the board. He's definitely pushing that last defender, as is Preston Corporal. But right now it's the Galaxy putting on the pressure. And that controlled game we talked about, the ability of Begovic to slow everything down and stretch the field as much as possible.
Well, that goal has really relaxed them, it seems. Because the first 7-10 minutes of the game, Croatia looked like the more relaxed team out there. And now all of a sudden, it's really freed them up. And you can see maybe the tide turning just a little bit. But as the game goes on, Cal, those are the kinds of things that happen throughout a game. It's a 90-minute game, so those are the ebb and flows that happen. And basically, we're in that ebb and flow, and we'll see how Hamilton reacts.
They have been a fairly solid team all year, always up near the top of the standings. But they do have the ability to come back. They've played in plenty of close games. Tate being harassed and gives it away. Down the sidelines looking for O'Keefe into the box, trying to turn. It's still in a bit of a fight. Top of the box, shot. This one's going to go over. Having a good look at it from about 30 yards out.
Good effort by Jamie Dodds there. Just didn't get himself over top of the ball, but it was worth an effort from the distance.
All you can ask for is to have an opportunity.
Yeah, the one thing you have to remember, these teams have played each other twice throughout the year, Cal. 2-2 ties in the first game at Brian Timmins Stadium, and then back at Lions Park in Brantford, it was a 3-3 tie.
Vaslagic definitely making his presence known. Grutenboer look for that pass, but Golianin just a step off.
But I wouldn't, I don't think there's that sensation in either side that anything is done here. I mean, there's lots of game left. These teams have tied throughout the year. They know each other very well.
You have to think that both coaches said, hey, you know what, don't just prepare for 90 minutes, prepare for having to play 120.
Yeah, in a big game, there's always that chance.
High kick, Corporal into challenge. He did well to get it to his man. But now it's the white jerseys Begovic had it taken off his foot. Ball still rattling around in the middle. Finally settles to Brantford. Goes back in with a rather dangerous pass that's in turn popped up. Brantford had his arm held but is able to spin out of it before losing the ball. Leggett. And a bit of a collision there as Shannon and number 10 in your program, Zvonko Bakula.
Zvonko Bakula, another player that was a midseason addition that came over as an import, and he's been a very nice addition to the team as a central defender. Him and Kadicic have really tightened up the D midseason. But you know, one thing I notice in Cal with Croatia right now, still playing a nice high-pressure defense, trying to keep the Galaxy not to set up and get comfortable in their possession game, and that's good. That's exactly what Coach Davidson would want from them.
And you talked about the fact that, you know, sometimes they can play north-south and take those chances. Well, on a counterattack is going to be the best time to do that. The ability to catch the Galaxy napping could prove beneficial as this ball sails out the far side and James just watches it go. Here in the 29th minute of play, it's the Galaxy up 1-0.
We're getting a replay here. Maybe this might show us who scored that goal, Fazlagic or own goal.
And producer Jeremy Milani has been scrutinizing this video for the longest time, and he says it does come across and off the foot of Fazlagic. A good job by all the hardworking people in the truck and all our camera people down on the field who...
Kudos to the production team for putting that for us. Thank you very much. Excellent view.
They bail us out all the time. Gerhardt trying to play a through ball. James didn't want it, but he took it and got rid of it as quick as possible. Corporal does well. The advantage played. O'Keefe was looking for it, but it's going to go all the way back. And now a ball down, looking for Golianin, and that's swallowed up on the far side by Hudson. Gives it away. Golianin with a bit of space. Has Angelkovic in the middle, calling for it. James down to make a diving save and smother it up inside his own 6.
Great keeping there by Melford James Jr., cutting out that cross. Angelkovic was behind there waiting for that ball.
Leggett trying to get rid of it, being harassed as his teammate.
Now, once again, you can still see that pattern on the left side for Golianin. The Galaxy are attacking their left side, Hamilton Croatia's right side. They've obviously seen something in the defense.
And he loves his left foot.
And that's what he is. He's a true natural left footer.
Nice passing to get out by Hamilton, but Leggett had it run off him a bit too far. And then a giveaway by Gerhardt, who'll now get it back. Playing ping pong along the sidelines here for Dodds. He's going to switch it up and go far side and try and find some space as O'Keefe wanted it and put his hands up as to say it was a handball as Uilic tried to get out, but O'Keefe right back in the thick of it now. And Dodds stepping over and going for Leggett. Takes a deflection off Brantford in the middle. Shannon. He'll play wide. A little bit of a step over. Begovic coming to help, and he's completely run out of room on the far side is Daniel Niksic. Time just closed up on him there.
Nice spell of play for Croatia. Won the ball down on the left side here, and they went to the right. And as you saw there, Dodds, the guy that makes everything go for them, did a real nice job of getting everybody involved.
Aiden O'Keefe, who might well earn his way into the books, instead he'll just get a talking to as he pulled down Patrick Gerhardt.
Yeah, a little clumsy foul there in midfield by O'Keefe. I think he's lucky he didn't get a yellow on that.
Rather careless. Gerhardt plowing on. James still on his toes. Finds the space. It's going to close quickly as Begovic running out there to meet Niksic. Niksic comes out the victor, but not for long. To get it back again and then hit from the side. Referee says play on. All the way back. Karasic trying to flick up, looking for Golianin. They'll go out the side. Feel like they're showing the far sideline a little bit more love than over here.
I think you're right. So I guess second half, if everything, all the strategies stay the same by the coaches, I think we're going to see a little closer action, Cal.
We won't have to squint to look all the way across there.
Like we did pay lots of money for these tickets,
Absolutely.
and you know, we expect a little play on this side.
All you can ask for, right? Misjudging it there was Gerhardt as he went up. Miodrag Angelkovic back to his defense. And a nice little flick on, but Gerhardt and Rutenboer were not on the same page. Now looking for Corporal. You can see the way that ball just dies in the wind.
Yeah, the wind, obviously the wind played havoc with that ball. Corporal made a nice run and just didn't get there.
Evidenced also by the flags waving in the stands of the supporters. Fazlagic still with it. Fazlagic creating space. Good job by Dodds to body him off the ball and allow his goaltender James Jr. to come out, grab it.
Jamie Dodds, as you can see, everywhere in the field. And, you know, not only does he get involved with the attacking, setting up plays and getting everybody in the game, but he's also defending. And that's that's a midfielder down in a central defender's position.
Angelkovic keeping it in on the far side. They're waiting for those late runs. Grutenboer's in the box. Had a chance at a header, but just missed it. Good effort by the young Marauder.
Yeah, once again, Angelkovic looking for, waiting. He waited to see, looked up. You can see him looking up right now, and a beautiful ball, nicely timed run, and Grutenboer almost gets at the end of that. Well done.
Does well to contort his body, does Kyle Grubauer. He is in the air fighting for everything, as is Dodds for that, but came off the side of his head. Gerhardt. Pass intercepted. Corporal.
Yeah, one of the things that Kyle Grutenboer started out the year as a reserve player for the Brantford reserve team that Galaxy have. And he played 4 or 5 games, started the year, and all of a sudden Coach Despina saw his talent and he said, I'd like to have him on. And he worked himself in. Now he's a starter. He's absolutely one of the guys he pencils in before the game as his outside right midfielder. No doubts about it. So, and that kind of shows what that's all about.
Grutenboer right there going to ground. Shannon will be booked. The yellow card will be pulled out. Referee Justin Tassev calling him over a couple times. And Shannon.
And that we probably should speak a little bit about the reserve teams, the role with both teams. You're in a situation where, speaking to Alan Perrin, Director of Operations for Hamilton, Croatia, the same thing with them. Daniel Nixic on the other side. Started out as a reserve player, but now he's worked himself into a starting role with the team. So that's what those reserve teams are there for in the CSL, is to continue to grow the talent.
And certainly, Grutenboer, unbeknownst to anyone that he was ever a reserve, right now fits in extremely well and working like clockwork with the rest of this Galaxy team.
Well, Coach, and you probably ask, why do I know so much about it? Because I'm one of the coaches with the reserves, along with Coach Peter Pomponio. You know, after 5 weeks, he was no longer part of our team. We knew that. He was gone.
A little bittersweet for you, isn't it?
Well, I mean, obviously it is. But at the end of the day, our role is to develop players for the first team, and that's any role of the reserve team.
That one was a little too far for Angelkovic.
And the CSL must be very proud of having organizations that have reserve teams that want to expand into under 18, under 16, to build through the youth, to look forward 5-7 years down the road.
And that's what we're talking about, because if soccer is going to get better in this country and we're going to improve our national team, our men's national team, which has fallen on some hard times, it's got to be giving kids a goal from a very early age, something to move up into, something to move through. And that the way you're going to do that is have feeder systems like they're trying to set up right now all across the country, and specifically here in Ontario. And
you look at what the Canadian Soccer League, where they're at today with this broadcast and the growth that they've had. You know, if I'm a father of a talented young boy, I'm going to strongly look at one of these organizations in my area to see if I can put my son in that reserve team and maybe build to this down the road to become a better player.
You see a lot of it going on with the Brampton Lions, as well as in the town of Milton, Milltown FC, of course.
Yeah, Coach DiMatteo there had put together a really nice team, also the Brampton Lions, and the same thing. They have a great system that's feeding their first team.
Little flick on and very close to level was Mirodrag Angelkovic, excuse me. And Angelkovic not necessarily in 100% agreement, as that one was as close as an offside call gets.
That's the classic view of the player being called offside, shaking his hand, shaking his finger. At the end of the day, it's the guy in the yellow that calls it, though.
The Richard Oliveira on the far side, or on the near side, excuse me. Trying to turn. Bezlagic ran into a wall, but no call. There's Golianin trying to find some space. He can't get out of anything.
Bezlagic's down, and it looks like he went knee to knee with the Hamilton, Croatia player. So see how injured he is. Okay, see a replay of this, maybe?
Yeah, it did look like his right knee just collided off.
Oh, here's a good view
the
right
opposite
here.
Player. And,
yeah, that's knee to knee.
And he hasn't moved at all.
There's nobody coming on from the Brantford Galaxy training staff. Referee's taking his time to call somebody on. So
Bezlagic was quick to point out to the official that had not brought anyone on yet.
You know, on a cold day like today, I mean, it's one thing to take a knock when it's 25, 27 degrees, hot weather. But when you're on a AstroTurf, and I think we're at about 5, 6 degrees, it's amazing how your body reacts just a little different to that knock.
Absolutely. And bruises will be magnified completely. And sometimes a bruise is enough to keep you out for a longer period of time.
It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. He's going to obviously have to go off right now. It'll be interesting to see how he's able to continue. It looks like he's putting some weight on it.
Not yet close enough to have to allow him to sit out for a little bit, so he definitely have to come on, as they're not going to play 5 men or a man down for the next 5 minutes and change, so he'll rest it up.
That was a wasted free kick there by the Galaxy.
Goal kick. Of course, the halftime show coming up. We've got Walter Gretzky, and of course the inspiration he's been to the Galaxy team.
Yeah, you know, Cal, to pick up on that, about 3-4 weeks ago, Walter Gretzky had some of the imports into his house to take him around the little mini museum that he has, and that was just absolutely a treat for these players to.
We've got that coming up at halftime, and it's going to be certainly good. Of course, thoughts from Dana McKeel, of Dick Howard, Neil Echeria, and all the highlights from the first half of action. Plus, I believe the CSL awards were earlier today, weren't they, Carmen?
Yeah, they were, and obviously special tribute to all those guys that a little special, a little extra, a little even in the eyes of all the CSL administrators, they're in a situation where we think you're really special and very deserving. Everyone that got received an award before the game.
We'll run them all down at halftime. That's coming up at the break, but still a little bit to play, as Corporal would like to change the scoreline before that. He's in tough with his back to the wall, top of the box, and Leggett didn't get the ball coming to him. Dodds missed it. Back to Leggett now. Leaving it. Dodds cleared for the moment. Gerhard in. Comes away with it. And again, they're picking on that left side as much as possible. No one dead center. Golianin. And this ball goes out of play as it was flicked out by.
Nice little spell from Croatia there, once again starting with Dodds. How many times he called his name? Everything starts with Dodds with the Croatia. But they had a little bit of an effort there. Didn't get a good shot at it, but they're starting to put a little pressure. See if they can get one back before the halftime here.
It definitely looked like O'Keefe for a moment there was going to have a chance teed up right at the top of the 18. So can't have much injury time, really. No more than a couple of minutes, I'd think.
If that, I think.
Bezlagic, left foot. Golianin almost had another chance as he took a deflection. They'll keep it with the throw.
You still have Hudson out there with Golianin. A couple big bodies. big defender and a big Ronco, as they call him in Brantford. Obviously, that's going to be an interesting matchup the rest of the game.
Matchup that we'll likely be able to see a little more closely as they'll be battling this near sideline when we switch things over. Bro going the other way, but certainly the dueling between the strikers and the defenders on each of these teams is talk about the strikers themselves, but how they match up with a specific defender on that side of the field, and will those strategies change, and will coaches make adjustments to move left to right and right to left?
I mean, that's the big question going into the end of this half, obviously. And Coach Davidson, Coach Despina, what tactical adjustments will they make?
Gives us space. Leggett sent a ball really to no one. It's gobbled up by the Galaxy. All the way back now.
If you're the Galaxy, obviously you want to try to get out of this half with the lead. You don't want to give up anything late in the first half at all here.
Be rather content to be playing 45 more minutes just to hold for a CSL championship. We are far from that. Rutenboer still with his legs under him. He doesn't stop, does he?
No, he's pretty much a gazelle. You know, and like I said, I had the advantage of seeing him all summer in practice and games, and not 2 lungs, he has 4, so has an advantage as a player.
Well, you have to think that that could come into play. You get players with extremely good cardio who are able to go 120 minutes, which, let's face it, it's a reality that we might see it today. Begovic.
You can see the short passing here by the Galaxy, really trying to impose their game.
Keeping possession as much as possible. They would be very happy. Here's Tate from distance, has a go. But his right foot sails over the bar.
Good effort. I mean, obviously a little high. Melford James, if you take a look at it, he was a little off his line, and Zach Tate maybe saw that and said, maybe I can get something over top of him. It's worth an effort, especially with the last couple of minutes left here as a defender in the offensive zone.
James gets to about half where the jump ball takes place. Golianin going to go one-on-one with Hudson and then cut into the middle. Fazlagic. Still Fazlagic. Golianin. It's going to be Golianin getting called.
Yeah, who's battling down in the back right corner? Dodds.
To be Dodds, yeah.
It's Dodds. I mean, that's not his position, but he's back there. And where is he right now? He's lining up back in the middle. That just shows the kind of character player he is.
And the thing is, Carmen, he never seems out of position. He's never really getting caught because he's able to make his way back. You know, some people, they're everywhere, they're out of position, and that's no good, but that's just not the case with him.
Yeah, he's obviously supporting everybody, and that's what a true midfielder does. Supports, obviously, the forwards and then defenders.
Added time will be 2 minutes. That's it. Maybe a little less than that. As you said, it might have been a little generous. Haris Fazlagic is the difference so far in the first half. Very coordinated strike that was sent in by Golianin. Golianin's cross came across the face of goal, and that is the difference at this point. Down on the ground is Fazlagic as he gets up and has some words for Tom Bilic. The two get in each other's faces, and quick to get in between the two of them is Justin Tassev.
You have to understand, a lot of these players, they do speak that same language. So, you know, if they're sending Christmas cards to each other or anything along those lines, they're not saying it in English.
Makes the job of Justin Tassev a little more difficult to decipher exactly.
Exactly, that's the whole
what type
point.
of pleasantries are being exchanged.
You know, what's your email address?
Gerhardt has a bit of a run in him, and I think he's won a corner, and he has. So the work not done yet for Hamilton, Croatia, as they have a potentially dangerous situation. This would absolutely change the course of the game if anything were to happen this late here in injury time in the first half.
Bakula coming up and Olic moving up. Defenders, big defenders coming in to obviously take advantage of this set piece here.
Begovic, it's a good ball. But Zlajic couldn't get on the end of it as it sailed out, and that should do it. It is the end of the first half of the championship of the Canadian Soccer League. It's on Rogers TV. It's presented by Jovova, and right now the score is 1-0 for the Brantford Galaxy. They're 45 minutes away from taking home a championship. Lots of work to be done. We've got Dana McKeel in the panel. Back after this.